Source Nation, join us now for the Political Corner with your host, Kevin Hezeki, as he brings you the latest news in the area of politics. Tune in as Kevin discusses thought-provoking topics and shares his perspective on how we can move forward. Source Nation, here is your host, Kevin Hezeki.
Good evening, Source Nation, and welcome to SRN Live Television. I am Kevin Hezeki, host of the Political Corner, and tonight we have an amazing show. But before I go any further, please let me thank our sponsors who have made this show possible, and they are Zulina Health, Wellness, and Fitness, Paper to Film Productions, Revolution Mills, and Renovations. In Source Nation, if you would like to advertise on our television network, contact Kathy B at KathyLynn1971 at Gmail or Tracy Jeffcoat at Gmail. Once again, if you would like to advertise on our television network, contact Kathy B at KathyLynn1971. That's KathyLynn 1971 at Gmail, or Tracy Jeffcoat at Gmail. That's TRECIEJEFFCOAT at Gmail. Now, like I said, we're going to have an amazing show. Tonight I'll be talking about the United States of America is the new third world country. All right, and what I'm talking about by it being the new third world country, man, we got so much going on out here. We got these kids being taken away from their families, one, which is most important, and being put in cages. Kids, because their parents came over here and they had kids, and the kids don't have a green card. I mean, they're kids. I mean, there should be some type of age limit. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you come over here with your parents and you're a child, you don't have a green card, you get a pass until a certain age. You see what I'm saying? But no, these crazy fools and that crazy daggone president, Donald Trump, are caging kids, separating them from their families. What type of world, what type of country is this? I mean, what type of country is it? And they trying to justify it to make it right. Like, come on, man. I'm telling y'all got to stay on top of this stuff, man, because they're going to mess around and find a way to start deporting or just say segregating people of color. Now, if they can do this to people who are coming over here from other countries to have a life and live what they so-called the American dream. And they're doing this right now. This is happening. Y'all better wake up, because they're going to mess around and figure out a way to do it to us. Hey, Source Nation, I need to take a quick break. But I could go further in. But when we come back from the break, I will go further in to our topic. The United States of America is the new third world country. And I'll explain to you what a third world country is. All right. So, Source Nation, we're going to take a quick break. And then on the other side of this, I'll be back to discuss more. So stay tuned.
Source Nation, stay tuned. You're listening live to the Political Corner with your host, Kevin Hezeki.
Linda Fonvern wanted Vicksburg to be the most fit city in Mississippi.
Walking is cheap. Life is priceless.
She got 2,500 neighbors to start walking with her.
Let's come together to help each other.
She wouldn't let them give up.
And we end up losing 15,000 pounds.
Linda helped reshape the community she loved, literally.
If you want to be happy, you got to be healthy.
Fitness. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Welcome back, Source Nation. You're listening live to the Political Corner with your host, Kevin Hezeki.
And welcome back, Source Nation. You're listening live to the Political Corner with me, your host, Kevin Hezeki. And our topic of discussion is the United States of America is the new third world country. Now, let me explain to you what a third world country is. Now, the term third world arose during the Cold War to define countries that remain non-aligned with either NATO, that's the NATO, or the communist bloc. The United States, Canada, Japan, South Korea, and Western Europe nations and their allies represent the first world, while the Soviet Union, China, Cuba, and their allies represent the second world. Now, this terminology provides a way of broadly categorizing the nations of the earth into three groups based on political and economic divisions. Now, since the fall of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War, the term third world has been used less and less. It is being replaced with terms such as developing countries or least developing countries or global south. Now, the concept itself has become outdated as it is no longer represents the current political or economic state of the world. Now, third world was normally seen to include many countries with colonial past, like in Africa, Latin America, Oceania, and Asia. It was also sometimes taken as synonymous with countries in the non-aligned movement. Now, in dependency theory of thinkers like Walter Rodney and Andre Frank, the third world has been connected to the world's systematic economic division as perpetuary countries dominated by the countries comprising the economic core. Now, due to the complex history of evolving meaning and context, there is no clear or agreed upon definition of third world. Some countries in the communist bloc, such as Cuba, were often regarded as third world because many third world countries were economically poor and non-industrialized. Now, it became a stereotype to refer to poor countries as third world countries. Yet the third world term is also taken to include newly industrialized countries like Brazil, India, and China, now more commonly referred to as part of the BRIC. Historically, some European countries were non-aligned, and a few of these were and are very prosperous, and that includes Ireland, Australia, Sweden, Finland, Switzerland, and Yugoslavia. Now, that's what the definition of a third world country is. And the reason why I say we're the new third world country is because, one, we're already getting, we didn't go into that, into the treaty movement that Donald Trump didn't want us a part of, as far as the trade agreements. That's one. So we're no longer a part of that. Two, with the separation of these kids, or the immigrants, the immigrant parents and their children, with that being started, and having these kids in cages, you know, and over here in the United States, that's two. I mean, that to me, these two so far to me are representing the third world, because just like it said, the third world is also are countries that that do not align with the NATO. We're not aligning with that trade agreement. That's very important. And third world also is developing countries, or least developing countries, or the global south. And that has to do with how the political or economics or the economic state of the world is. Now, we already know the economic state of the United States isn't good. So that's three. You see what I'm saying? Right there. So moving right along, if you're just tuning in, man, this is the Political Corner. I'm your host, Kevin Hezeki. And our topic is the United States of America is the new third world country. Now, I want to touch on some different topics to where it's going to tie in to allowing us to understand what I'm trying to see and tell you for as we are the new third world country. Because we are people. I mean, honestly, I hope y'all are really, 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 really following this stuff and really seeing what's going on. Because honestly, in a third world country, there are dictators. And that's what that man wants to be so bad. He wants to be a dictator. We can't have this, y'all. We can't have this. Eventually, we're going to be trying to figure out ways to get up out of here to go to another country to live our life, because this country is not going to be for the people, especially minorities. So y'all better wake up. Better wake up. That's all I can say. But hey, I'm getting ready to go into this topic with the immigrant parents here and their kids getting taken away. Now, it's hurtful, man, just to even think about it and talk about it. But anyway, the Trump administration has been pushing a zero tolerance policy towards illegal border crossing, in which every immigrant arrested for crossing the border is referred for federal prosecution. Now, the policy has had the effect of separating the arresting immigrants from their children. Now, Department of Homeland Security officials said that at least 2,000 children have been separated from their parents since it began implementing the policy in late April. 2,000 children have already been separated. Now, the Border Processing Center is the first place the detained immigrants go after they are arrested. But they stay is temporary. Those arrested are then transferred to Department of Justice custody and presented before a judge for the crime of illegal entry in the United States. As part of the process, the immigrant's child or children will be transferred to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Refuge Resettlement, the documented states. Now, the handout, they're actually giving parents a handout, and it recommends that the parents call ICE, call the ORR parent hotline, or email two of the organizations to locate their children. All right, now, man, I just, like I said, it's very, very, very very hurtful just to even see this, know about it, and speak about it. And it's over here in the United States. But the thing about it is they're trying to justify this. And I know with Jeff Sessions, he comes on TV and just tries to explain the whole purpose of this. Now, I'm not going to explain it. I got the clip. We're going to look at the clip. So here's the clip of Jeff Sessions. I know that he's part of the Methodist Church, and they're actually trying to charge him for child cruelty or child abuse. So let's check out the clip, and when the clip is over, we'll talk more about it. All right, so let's check out the clip.
I thought I'd take a little bit of digression here to discuss some concerns raised by our church friends about separation of families. Many of the criticisms raised in recent days are not fair, not logical, and some are contrary to plain law. First, illegal entry into the United States is a crime. It should be, it must be, if you're going to have a legal system and have any limits whatsoever. Persons who violate the law of our nation are subject to prosecution. If you violate the law, you subject yourself to prosecution. And I would cite you to the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government, because God has ordained the government for his purposes. Orderly and lawful processes are good in themselves. Consistent, fair application of law is in itself a good and moral thing, and that protects the weak. It protects the lawful.
All right, so we just saw the clip of Jeff Sessions defending the separation of the kids and their parents and trying to justify this. Now, more than 600 clergy and lay members of the United Methodist Church have signed a letter bringing church charges against the fellow member, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, for the zero tolerance immigration policy that has resulted in the separation of undocumented children from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, the formal accusation issued on Monday charges Sessions with numerous violations of the Domination's Book of Discipline, including child abuse, immortality, racial discrimination, and for his citation of Romans 13 to defend the policy that the dismantlization of the doctrines contrary to the standards of the UMC. Now, those who signed the complaint letter claim that Sessions' tremendously social political power had his role as a Sunday school teacher and the severe and ongoing effects of his actions compelled them to call for accountability. Now, as members of the United Methodist Church were deeply hoped for a reconciling process that will help this long-time member of their connection step back from his harmful actions and work to repair the damage he is currently causing to immigrants, particularly children and families. This is what the letter states. Now, the Justice Department spokeswoman Sarah Flores declined to comment directly on the church's charges against Sessions. She said that the AG comments on scripture were not to justify the policy, but in response to other criticism. Now, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Political Corner, and I'm your host, Kevin Hezeki. And our topic is the United States the new third world country. Now I'm gonna take a quick break, and when we come back from the break, we'll go straight back into our conversation here. We'll talk a little more about the Jeff Sessions in trying to justify and defend the separation of parents and kids. All right, so we'll be right back. Source Nation, stay tuned.
Source Nation, stay tuned. You're listening live to the Political Corner with your host, Kevin Hezeki.
Shout out my brother Mercy, SODMGPTE, Face the Truth, KT, we in the building, got to get the city booming. Boom!
Bada bing bang, bada bing bang, boom! Bada bing bang, bada bing bang, boom! Bada bing bang, bada bing bang, boom! Bada bing bang, bada bing bang, boom! Da 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 da. 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 Bada bing bang.
You know they had to get me on a KT fly dinner. I grew up listening to I'm in front of my haters like a you know what we Tennessee that deep. Ever since your boy been on the diet, you know the rap rappers is all that I eat now. I'm a beast now, I'm a T-town. Throw a cab when I'm running through the streets now. Money maintain over gang bang. Got a good girl, she tryna rent the team name. Boom, bada bing bang, it's a big drink thing. Cash shoes, everything around me, cream thing.
Boom, bada bing bang, it's a big drink thing. Cash shoes, everything around me, cream thing.
Pull up on the block, got the speakers going. Step up in the spot, got the city going. Pull up in a Chevy, roll out in a foreign. Throw a alley-oop, KT, we be scoring. Who them boys yelling, who them boys yelling. Long and short, I'ma run it back like Nelly. And how I whip it, got my haters jealous. Oh, that's your girl, she hit me up on the telly.
Bada bing bang, bada bing bang, boom! 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 Da 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 da. 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 Bada bing bang,
Boom, bada bing, I'm just chillin' with the team. And you know we fresh and clean. Why you looking at me mean? We just keep it 1,000, you just keep it 10. Said I already did it, well I just did it again. Hate it, won't admit it, they know I kill it. Everybody know that I be with it, yeah, I'm about to get it. Catch him in the building and you know we winning. Hold up, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. They say, whoa, look at them go. They know the flow is colder than snow. I'm going in, yeah, I'm about to blow, yeah, I'm about to blow, 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 let it go. Pull up on the block, got the speakers going. Step up in the spot, got the city going. Pull up in a Chevy, roll out in a foreign. Throw a alley-oop, KT, we be scoring. Who them boys yelling, who them boys yelling. Long and short, I'ma run it back like Nelly. And how I whip it, got my haters jealous. Oh, that's your girl, she hit me up on the telly.
bada bing bang, bada bing bang, boom! 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 Da 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 da. 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 Bada bing bang, boom!
And welcome back, Source Nation. Welcome back. You're tuning in. You're listening.
Welcome back, Source Nation. You're listening live to the Political Corner with your host, Kevin
United
Hezeki.
States, the new third world country. Now we've been discussing as far as what is a third world country and why am I considering the United States the new third world country. And you know, we talked about the immigrants, parents and kids getting separated. and how the United Methodist Church is charging Jeff Sessions for child abuse and child neglect, which is good. Now, I'm going to pick up on that from what we just spoke about on that. In May, Sessions announced that the Department of Justice and Homeland Security are aiming to prosecute 100% of cases of illegal border crossings, regardless of whether those involved are fleeing prosecution or traveling with children. Now, the United States government separated nearly 2,000 children from their parents in April and May as a result of this policy, placing the minors in shelters or with extended family members while their parents are prosecuted. Now, Sessions has drawn widespread condemnation after using a chapter from the Bible to respond to religious critics of the policy. Now, concerns raised by our church's friends about separating families are not fair or logical. He said in a speech in Fort Wayne, Indiana, he said, "I would cite you to the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government because God has ordained them for the purpose of order." Now, again, it goes on. I have given the idea of immigration much thought and have considered the arguments of our church leaders. Now, Sessions had continued, he was saying, "I do not believe scriptural church history or reason condemns or secular national state for having a reasonable immigration law. If we have them, then they should be enforced." Man, you see, this is why I say stay on top of these politics, because of this. Because you have politicians like this that are out here forcing these laws, creating these crazy laws that really dehumanizes people. Like putting those kids in cages. You don't do that. You don't do that. And they think it's right. This is a third world country, y'all. I'm telling you, it's a third world country. Now, another thing we're going to go into what's been going on, and this even still makes us a third world country, but this is about this black teacher is under fire for telling white students their ancestors killed millions. Now they're trying to fire this teacher because she told the truth. You see what I'm saying? And now they got this little white girl on there who recorded the teacher's conversation, and they're trying to make her seem like the good person, and that, oh, we're sorry that this happened. I'm pretty sure it just broke your heart and messed up your mind. I got the clip. Let's watch the clip. And after the clip, we'll talk more about it. Here's the clip.
Another teacher using the classroom as a place to share their political beliefs, this time slamming President Trump's "Make America Great Again" motto. Take a listen to this.
So when my president says, "Let's make America great again," when was he talking about? He must be talking about when it was great for Europeans. Because when it comes to minorities, America has never been great for minorities.
Wow, that is just a slice of a 15-minute rant from that teacher. And this all taking place at the same Georgia middle school where another teacher assigned students to write anti-gun letters to Congress, as we reported on the show yesterday. So here with more is the student who recorded that audio, sixth grader and former Hampton Middle School student, Josie. How do you pronounce it? It's Ordiwela?
It's Ordiwela.
Ordiwela.
It's Cuban.
Well, it's a beautiful name, and thank you so much for being with us. You are a brave young woman. You were the one that recorded this rant. It was your teacher. Why did you do that?
Well, we were about to watch a movie for the first day of Black History Month, and then as soon as the movie had started, the teacher paused it, and she said that earlier that day she had read a poem called "America for You is Not America for Me," and then she said that this kind of reminded her of Donald Trump's slogan. And then she turns at the class and goes, "Hey, do any of you know what Donald Trump's slogan is?" And then everyone said, "Make America Great Again." And then a few seconds later, she started saying that maybe when he said that, he was trying to bring back segregation. So like right after that, I instantly knew that my mom is going to love this, and I needed to record it, so that's what I did.
Wow, so you recorded that. So clearly the rant had been going on well before you actually recorded it. You went home, gave it to your mom. What was her reaction?
She was in total shock, and then she just like looked at me, and then she looked at the phone, and then she asked me to turn it up some, so I got on my editing apps and I turned it up, and then she said, "Josie," and then I'm like, "Keep listening." So then she kept listening, and then she said, "How's it getting worse?" And then it just kept getting worse and worse, and then she was like, "This is unbelievable."
Well, Josie, in part of that rant, she addresses you and all the students in that class. Let me play just a little bit of that.
What?
Somebody else look at yourself in the mirror. Look at your ancestry in the mirror before you start saying your bags and your bags and your bags, so you can't come. Because you happen to kill a few people, but guess what? My people have killed millions. Not a few. Millions upon millions upon millions of people. Babies included.
Talking about killing babies, how did that part of her rant make you feel?
Well, it made me feel like that I had done something wrong, even though like I knew that I didn't. But she just like made me think that I did, because she was just the way she looked at me when she said it. She looked at me like this, "You're bad," and then it was just like really awkward. And then I just felt so bad after that.
Right, and you think about the role of a teacher and the impact that they have on your life and everyone in that class, and just how unfortunate that moment was. How did the other students around you feel about this? Did you talk to any of them about it?
I didn't really talk to any of them about it. They just like, everyone in the class is a child except for the two teachers that were in the classroom, but they were all like looking off into space. They were being confused, and like they were like, "Huh?"
Yeah, not sure what was going on. So your school has put out a statement. They say that it is extremely unfortunate that we experienced a separate, unrelated incident involving a teacher using the classroom space for actions we do not condone. The matter was addressed immediately upon it being brought to our attention. This unfortunate incident affords us the opportunity to remind our educators of the importance of keeping any potential political bias out of lessons for students of any age. What jumps out to me, Josie, is the school would not have even known about this rant had it not been for you opening up your phone and recording this. Right? I mean, you're the reason why they're talking about it now.
Oh yeah, I'm special.
Do you have a message for the school, or you know, anything you want to say before we let you go?
No, not really, but I'm just kind of like disappointed in the fact that that teachers have like such a big impact on kids, and like as a child, I know that you have to believe what adults say because like they're the adult and they like know everything, right? So like I know that she was probably using that just so she can like just have more people, I guess, on her side. I don't know how to say that.
Get out her own anger. Well, we appreciate you being here. You are a brave young girl. I know that's not easy, so it's great to have you on this morning, Josie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Source Nation. Now you just saw the clip of the black teacher under fire for telling white students that their ancestors had killed millions. And you see how they tried to portray the little white girl as, you know, hey, I'm sorry this happened to you. You're sorry that she was told the truth. We need more teachers like that to tell the truth. But hey, this is a third world country. And you know, just the point about this is what happens when you go against the matrix of the indoctrination of white America. And see, in white America is disappointing because the truth is being told. Now just wait till the truth about where we live comes to attention to the masses. Like science and history are all lies made to reinforce the matrix they wish for us to live in. Like gravity, the earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, but we don't feel it and see it. Yet we can feel 300 miles per hour wind and clouds going different directions. How the sun is said to be 93 miles away, but strong enough to warm the earth, but not strong enough to light up space 360 degrees around the sun. Or how gravity holds down massive ocean waters, but can't hold down balloons and kites, smoke, and bows floating upward. But people always say, why would they lie about a global earth? Global earth is the godless accidental theory of the accidental Big Bang theory that hasn't been proven but has been taught as absolute truth. Now, you tell a lie long enough and it becomes the truth, just like Christopher Columbus discovering America and America being great again. So reach out to me, y'all, and tell me, do y'all feel that that teacher needs to be under fire? Was she, or should we have more teachers like that? And I think we should. We need to start telling these kids the truth about what's going on out here. But anyway, Source Nation, I need to start wrapping things up here. I got one more clip I want to show. And it has our favorite person in there, Obama. And Obama is telling us what we need to do. And explaining to us that this is all wrong and how America should be. So I'm gonna play the clip. Then after the clip, we'll have us a short conversation about the clip, and we'll take it from there. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Political Corner, and I'm your host, Kevin Hezeki. So let's check out this clip of Obama.
Hello, Chicago. It's good to be home. If I had told you 8 years ago that America would reverse a Great Recession, reboot our auto industry, and unleash the longest stretch of job creation in our history, if I had told you that we would open up a new chapter with the Cuban people, shut down Iran's nuclear weapons program without firing a shot, take out the mastermind of 9/11, if I had told you that we would win marriage equality and secure the right to health insurance for another 20 million of our fellow citizens, if I had told you all that, you might have said, Our sights were set a little too high. But that's what we did. I can't do that. After my election, there was talk of a post-racial America. And such a vision, however well intended, was never realistic. Race remains a potent and often divisive force in our society. If you're tired of arguing with strangers on the internet, try talking with one of them in real life. If you're disappointed by your elected officials, grab a clipboard, get some signatures, and run for office yourself. Show up. Dive in. Stay at it. Sometimes you'll win. Sometimes you'll lose. Michelle LaVaughn Robinson, girl of the South Side. You made the White House a place that belongs to everybody. And a new generation sets its sights higher because it has you as a role model. Malia and Sasha, of all that I have done in my life, I am most proud to be your dad. For too many of us, it's become safer to retreat into our own bubbles, whether in our neighborhoods or on college campuses or places of worship, or especially our social media feeds. Surrounded by people who look like us and share the same political outlook and never challenge our assumptions. And increasingly, we become so secure in our bubbles that we start accepting only information, whether it's true or not, that fits our opinions, instead of basing our opinions on the evidence that is out there. I'm asking you to hold fast to that faith written into our founding documents, that idea whispered by slaves and abolitionists, that spirit sung by immigrants and homesteaders and those who marched for justice, that creed reaffirmed by those who planted flags from foreign battlefields to the surface of the moon, a creed at the core of every American whose story is not yet written. Yes, we can. Yes, we did. Yes, we can. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. You just watched the clip of President Obama explaining to us what's to come and how things should be. Now, this man predicted our future. You know what I'm saying? And he gave us words of wisdom, especially in his final moments. And he was an amazing president. He was not in it for himself or for one party, but for the country, for peace, for mankind. And this is the message a president should share, not one of hate, fear, ignorance, or bliss. If you speak hate, you should breed hate. Let us all remember the peace that President Obama achieved and the message of hope and love he always presented. Source Nation, it's been a great show. We're running out of time, but before I leave, I need to thank our sponsors once again, and they are Meet My Types Matchmaking, Blend to Blend Juice Bar Boutique, Urban Grandstand Digital, and New Covenant of Praise Worship Center. In Source Nation, to find out more about who we are, you can check out Source Nation on Facebook. And I really want everyone out there to really focus on this stuff that's going on in politics, because it's really getting really dangerous out here. I mean, it's getting dangerous out here. You still got cops shooting these unarmed kids, and now we got the government locking kids up in cages and getting mad because teachers are teaching the truth. Like, come on, man. What are we gonna do? Hey, but I gotta leave you with a word of wisdom here. Oh man. All right. The same spirituality that you call evil is the same spiritual system that all of your religions stole stories from. You're just blind to the truth. We can heal the world if we wake up to the lies the system gave us. The truth will set you free. Let me read it one more time for you. The same spirituality that you call evil is the same spiritual system that all of your religions stole stories from. You're just blind to the truth. We can heal the world if you wake up to the lies this system gave us. The truth will set you free. All right, y'all. This has been Political Corner. I'm your host, Kevin Hezeki. And if you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook at Kevin Hezeki Ausar. You can follow me on Instagram at Hezeki Ausar. You can also follow me on the Global Agenda Show. And the Global Agenda Show airs every Friday. And you can check us out at www.theglobalagendashow.com. And I want to say a big up to my homeboy, Brian Hunter, at Quit Knocking My Hustle. Man, I'm loving these hats. Y'all need to check out Quit Knocking My Hustle. The boldest statement in fashion. Just log on to www.quitknockingmyhustle.com. And if you log on today and you start and you accept their newsletter, you will get 10% off your first order. Can't beat that. They got some nice stuff. You see this hat? It's dope. So Quit Knocking My Hustle. Check them out. All right, Source Nation and the Political Corner. I'm out of here. This is Kevin Hezeki, and I'm gonna say what y'all know what I say. Knowledge, enlightenment, victory. Never forget, Kev. Peace.